Hey listeners, today we're sharing something a little different. Last year, the Dougy Center was selected as one of a handful of children's bereavement programs to partner with StoryCorps and the New York Life Foundation. Maybe you've heard of StoryCorps before. They have a new project called Road to Resilience, Memories That Move Us Forward. And the whole point of the project is to support grieving children and families. StoryCorps has been around since the early 2000s, and their mission is to preserve and share humanity's stories as a way to build connections among people and also create a more compassionate world. Road to Resilience was born out of StoryCorps and the New York Life Foundation's commitment to helping children cope with the death of a parent, a sibling, or some other loved one in their life. Being picked to partner with StoryCorps on this project was super exciting for us. And it also meant that back in December of 2018, a group of our staff members and a few of our volunteers got to train with the StoryCorps staff and learned how to facilitate 40-minute-long conversations with children and their adults. Over the 6-month project period, 25 families recorded one of these conversations, and they got to talk about having someone in their life die and also share the memories that they never want to forget. They also got to ask each other questions that they might never ask in daily life. Ones like, "What did Dad think when he first saw me? How did the two of you meet anyhow? What's something he did that really bugged you?" So, over the next few months, we'll be sharing short clips of these conversations in a series of mini episodes. You'll get a brief window into how children and teens are learning to live in the world without the physical presence of their person who died, and how their families are working to honor and remember them. What a total privilege it's been for me to listen to these conversations. I get to hear the combination of laughter, tears, new discoveries, and well-loved stories. In this first episode, you'll hear from Josh and Sylvia. They talk about what it was like after Sylvia's mom died of suicide when Sylvia was just 5.5.
You were about 5.5 years old when your mom died, and that was more than 10 years ago now. And I'm wondering what you remember about that day.
I pretty clearly remember going to school. This day, she walked me onto the playground, and then she said I could go in by myself if I wanted, and I felt so grown up. I'm going to school by myself. My mom's not dropping me off. I felt like such a cool kid, and I didn't give her a hug that day, and I didn't say goodbye, and I got into the classroom, and I immediately started crying, and I ran back out, but by that time she was gone.
What was it like for you growing up with only one parent? I know that, it must have, I don't know if it felt limiting to you in any way or...
I rarely felt like I needed another parent. It was hard to explain why I didn't have two parents, and after a while I just started referring to you as my parents. I think the hardest part was when an adult would say, well, what does your mom think about that or something, and I'd have to explain, and they would look so guilty for bringing it up. What was hard about parenting me? Like, what did I do that was just really hard to deal with?
Well, the hardest part was just doing it all by myself, which was nothing about you. And especially, in those first year or two after your mom died, you were pretty upset and angry, of course, as you should be.
Yeah.
And I just remember feeling helpless a little bit. There's nothing I can do to fix this, and that was kind of hard. Do you remember how when you were little you would look up at the moon?
Yeah.
And you would say, "Oh, Mom's up there on the moon."
I had this whole story about how she lived in a city on the moon. And then someone was like, well, no, because astronauts have been to the moon and they didn't see the city. So then it was under the surface of the moon and you had to go below. But it was this beautiful, sparkling city where everyone, it was like heaven, but I wasn't religious, so it was different. I remember talking to her because we had that bathroom window that opened up and didn't have a screen.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see the moon perfectly from there. And so I'd look out the window and talk to her.
Is there anything that you've learned about yourself through these difficult times?
I guess I'm stronger than I think I am. and I have a really great support system. And I've learned how to take days for myself.
So what would you want your mom to know about you now?
I would want her to know about my acting. If that's a career she would be really excited for me to pursue, or if she would want me to be more practical. And I'd want her to know just about my personality. I'd want her to know, I would want her to know how tall I am, because I'm taller than her and I'm almost taller than you, and I don't know where I get being tall from. It's not like our family is giant.
Thanks for talking to me today.
Thanks for talking to me. I love you.
I love you too.